Hey there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. I'm your host, Patsun, and today we're going to be taking a look at r/cheating stories, where OP's wife was having an affair with her brother-in-law. Let's begin. My wife is pregnant, and the baby might not be mine. Posted by Reddit user aggravatingsoft959.
Not quite sure why I'm doing this. I've been drinking quite heavily for most of today, so if I stop making sense you all understand why. I'm 40 and my wife is 38. She was always adamant that we wouldn't have children. I wanted them, but loved her more than the idea of becoming a father. We met when I was 20 and she was 18, and were married by the time I was 22. She came from a very privileged background, and her parents did not approve of me. They are of the opinion that she married below her social station. A few months ago, she visited her parents and her father bought her a new car. Her parents have serious money, and I trusted her, so it wasn't something that I questioned. Plus, she's always received gifts from her father over the years. Why would this one be any different? A couple of weeks ago, she told me that she was pregnant and I was ecstatic. Happier than I've ever been. But it didn't last long. I got a call from a friend, and he told me that he'd seen her with her brother-in-law, sister's husband, while she was visiting her parents. She hadn't told me that she'd seen him. They've always had a weird dynamic that's made me uncomfortable, but I consoled myself with the view that she had chosen me. She could have been with him, but she had chosen me. My friend sent me some pictures, and it changed things. The images showed a couple that were very close. The image showed them gazing and holding each other. The intimate gestures of one's familiar with each other. Her gazing at home, with a look that I had hoped was reserved for myself. His hands in her hair as he kissed her. Turns out, it's more than likely he bought her the car. I confronted her about it, asked her what happened, but she lied. Told me she hadn't seen him. Told me that I should know the score between them, that she has to be civil. Very fucking civil. I showed her the pictures and told her to leave. That was a week ago. Then I did the math in my head and realized the dates line up. There is a very real chance he might be the baby's father. Today I asked her for a DNA test, but she exploded at that. The thought of subjecting her baby to a test. But without one, I'll never accept this child as mine. This whole ordeal has made me reconsider my marriage. Not only that, but how honest she's been throughout it. How many of the gifts that she's received over the years have actually been from her father? Has she just spread her legs for any man that's bought her something nice? Have I quite literally married a whore? I've sent her sister the pictures. Not for any noble reason of thinking that she should know. I want to hurt my wife and brother-in-law, and that's the best way I know at the moment. On Monday, I think I'm going to talk to a lawyer and set the divorce proceedings in motion. Thank you for reading, and I'm sorry if this is a mess. My mental state isn't great, and I've had a lot to drink. Edit. Thanks for the support. Those that don't believe me, that's your prerogative. This is the internet, and I understand your skepticism. I need her permission for a DNA test, and she's made it clear that she won't give it. The next step is I get a divorce and lose half my stuff. Infidelity doesn't matter as much to the UK courts. Dyslexia and a high blood alcohol level are responsible for any spelling and grammatical mistakes.
OP, whether the kid is yours or not, you need to burn this sham of a marriage to the ground. Do not sign anything until the DNA test is conclusive. Demand if you have to via court order if necessary. A paternity test before you even consider signing on a birth certificate is an absolute must in your situation. There's no legitimate reason for you to get stuck paying child support or raising another man's child. This whole situation sucks. Just imagine giving up your dream to become a father because your wife doesn't want any kids. Then the said wife gets pregnant with her affair partner's baby. If that's truly the case, then that's just fucked up. Now, for OP's first update.
I've not spoke to my wife in close to 10 days. She's sent me some messages and left voicemails, but I haven't responded to any of them. I made my position clear with her. When she agrees to a DNA test, I'll talk to her, but not before. I spent Christmas with a close friend, and he gave me some advice about what to do with my future. I used to row and box in my early 20s, and I plan to start doing that again. I'm also giving up alcohol for the foreseeable future. It doesn't do my mental state any good. I have an appointment with a lawyer and a therapist next week. I plan to get myself sorted mentally, emotionally and legally so that I don't get fucked in the coming months. Whether or not I get divorced in the end, I need to know my options and the consequences. I've spoken to my sister-in-law on a few occasions, and she's going down a similar route to me and filing for divorce in the new year. Her and my brother-in-law have a young daughter, so life's going to get quite complicated for them. If the baby turns out to be his, then they can have one really fucked up family. I'm jumping from wanting the baby to not. If it's mine, then I get to be a dad, but my life will get seriously complicated. If it's someone else's, then I can be done with all of them and have a fresh start, but the thought that she'd have another man's child is profoundly depressing. If it's not my child, then I think I'll move somewhere else. Maybe apply for a work visa in America, transfer to one of the European branches of the company, or spend a few years living as a nomad traveling around the world. Haven't thought that far ahead yet, but I doubt I'll stay in the UK. If it is mine, then things will be much more complicated. I haven't told her about my plans for the future because at its current standpoint she's not in them. That might change, but at its current standpoint that's unlikely. As updates go, this one is probably disappointing, but it is what it is. If she agrees to a DNA test, then I'll provide another update, but at this point, that seems quite unlikely.
At this point, if she agrees to a DNA test and the child is biologically yours, your relationship is still basically tarnished from the whole situation. She can deny the DNA test while she's pregnant, but the delay on her part really is just a form of denial. I really hope you get a divorce, OP. After the child is born, you can challenge paternity and ask for a DNA test at that time. If it's yours, you will have the whole pregnancy timeline to initiate divorce proceedings and even negotiate a child care plan. If it's not yours, wish her luck. Get on a plane. Get the hell away from there. You may have to climb through some shit to get your freedom, but trust me, it will be worth it. My guess is that she has a strong suspicion that the child is not yours, which is why she's panicking and delaying the inevitable DNA test. She's probably hoping to love bomb you and convince you to raise his kid because babies are miracles, and one little mistake shouldn't be the reason to end a great marriage. You know, all the other bullshit statements that we can all predict from the cheater's playbook. Now, for OP's final update.
It's been almost 6 months since I posted anything, and quite a lot has changed for me in the last few months. I got a temporary transfer to one of the northern branches of my company. They say a change is as good as a rest, and in this instance it was. Working somewhere different was definitely what I needed, and it was nice to be somewhere where I wasn't reminded about my current situation. When I returned home, it really clicked how unhappy I have been in London. It's not a city that I enjoy living and working in, and I've made the decision to move. I did also have a short casual relationship with someone else, but it didn't really go anywhere. I thought some meaningless sex would help, and during the act it did, but afterwards, I always felt guilty, so I stopped. My wife had the baby last Monday. She also agreed to a DNA test. I saw her on Wednesday, which was an experience. I haven't really spoken to her in the last 6 months, so the meeting was very awkward. Her parents have never really liked me, and the last few months have done nothing to improve their opinion of me. She kept on asking me if I could feel it while I held the baby. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I did feel something. I told her about my plans to move, and she was very much on board with that, insisting that it could be a fresh start for us. She maintained that she never had an affair. I don't know if I believe that one bit. I have no evidence. I'm not certain that I want her to come with me. I did get the results from the test a few days ago, and it is my baby. She's made her position clear. She wants us to be one family, one household. The thing is, I really don't know if that's what I want anymore. Truth be told, I have no clue what I want anymore. The main thing that I feel at the moment is confused and uncertain. Stay with her or leave her. I am in a lot of respects tied to her now through our son. It's something that I'm putting a lot of thought into before I decide. My therapist says that trust is everything in any relationship, and if you don't trust someone, then you can't have a real relationship with them. He also asked if I could trust her again or see myself being in a position where I could trust her again in the future. Both questions I don't know how to answer at the moment. I'm not looking for advice. I'm well aware of the echo chamber that is Reddit. I don't think I'll post another update, as I don't see any point.
OP, even if she didn't sleep with him, if you for some reason believe that, she most likely did have an affair with him. I mean, you have photographic evidence of them kissing, for fuck's sake. Yeah, that's called cheating. And to be clear, adults don't get together and cheat on their spouses just to kiss and cuddle. If they did those things publicly enough to be photographed doing it, what do you think they did while in private? Come on, man. She definitely cheated. Just because the baby is not his doesn't mean they didn't have sex. Don't force yourself to do something you don't want just because it's the right thing to do. If you are happy by yourself and don't want to be with her, or you don't know what you want, then don't make the commitment. Don't use the baby as an excuse for it. Growing up with parents that resent each other will be much worse for your son than having divorced parents. But hey, it's your life. You do you, OP. Good luck. And as per usual, here's my segue. Viewer support is the best way for me to remain independent and continue bringing you these daily videos, which will always be here on my YouTube channel for you to watch absolutely free. So consider clicking that super thanks just below the video title, or you can use my PayPal in the description box down below. Thanks for listening, everyone. If you even somewhat enjoyed today's story, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, and if you really like it, make sure to subscribe to PattSun to never miss a future upload. Stay strong.